सलाम मेरे अजीज पंखों।
I want to be alone. My sob began coming loudly. My heart was itching. I couldn't do anything. Jungkook was wrong. This was not my home. This was not my family. I was only made here. No, I was a slave. I ran fast while my sob turned into a hiccups. Suddenly, someone called in front of me, and I bumped into that person. I looked up and saw Jungkook. His face turned into a frown. "Why are you crying?" he asked, staring at me with a sudden concern. But he was not going to give me respect. Neither he will stand for me. I was nothing, no one to him. I tried to walk past him, but he held my hand and saw those gash and again asked me, this time with clenching jaw, "What happened, Theon?" Nothing. I released my hand with difficulties and ran toward my room. Theon closed the door and sat on the floor. His innocent heart hurt. No human behave with other human being like this. Guy, they never feel this much hurt, cause maybe he always thought he was only made to them. But after a few beautiful moments and words from Jungkook, they begins to believe that he was not. He was his husband and this was his house. But Kai burst that bubble, dragging him into the reality. Jungkook will never accept him in front of the world. They will never be treated like this. And that thought made him cry even more. Theon, open the door. Tell me what happened. Jungkook was enough to come after him and ask the reason of his tears. Theon, Jungkook again called. Please, you please go. I'm alright. I'm just not feeling well. Nothing to worry. They said, trying to controlling his sobs. He sighed and stood there for a few moments before walking away. Taehyung heard his footsteps going away and wrapping his arms around his knees, burying his face into his knees. He just left. He didn't ask. They furthermore, why would he? He didn't care about him. No one cared about him. No one. They began crying. This ignorance of his husband was making him hurt even more. The whole day they had not come out of the kitchen. Lynn informed that they was not feeling well, so Uma told her to tell him to rest and no need to call Taehyung out. They all were having their dinner, and Jungkook was just staring at his food. The tear and his soul were disturbing him. He wanted to know the reason, but they was not ready to tell him, and he didn't know how to make they talk to him. For him, they was new, very new. He didn't know how to feel and what to feel. Jungkook, baby, why are you not eating? Sana asked, looking at the plate, which still filled with food. Uh, I am not hungry. I want to sleep. Good night, everyone. He made himself stand and walk toward his room. The next day, Jungkook woke up late, and last night he slept late, and today was Sunday too. It was 10 o'clock. When he walked out of the room after freshening up, he saw everyone sitting in the living room. Kai and Info arguing while showing Sana and Uma some picture. Hearing their conversation, he understood that they were busy in making plannings of engagement. It was my engagement, okay? Not yours. Info said, rolling his eyes. Hyung, you should be grateful that I'm giving you my precious advice, or else you will ruin all the fame. Kai said. They continue. Jungkook just smiled and then walked toward the kitchen. He was feeling hungry and he had not eaten dinner last night. Lin, I'm so sorry for what happened, Theon. I should have to tell Madam. She could have saved you from that. Jungkook stopped on his track as he heard Lin word. He was standing on the doorway and he could see Theon standing in front of him. It's okay, Lin. And please don't tell Uma. It's not a big deal. That was not for the first time Kai insulted me, neither it will be last. and I could not go to Uma with now and then. I'm their servant, and I should understand this, Taehyung said with breaking voice. Jungkook's eyes glowed wide, and he understood what he was saying and what could have happened yesterday. The cash on his hand, his tears stained him, avoiding him. Clenching his jaw, he walked inside. Lin and they both feel their presence and look at him. What Kai did yesterday? He asked indirectly to Lin. He knew they would not tell him. Nothing. Quiet. Jungkook pointed his finger at Tae angrily, making him shut his mouth, while his eyes grew wide. Tell me, Lin, what he did yesterday. He asked Lin. She looked at Tae, who was shaking his head, but Lin was not stay silent, knowing Kai could do the same again. Lin turned to Jungkook, and everything. They turned him back to them as tears began falling. They was too sensitive. Until the age of 19, he only see pain after his father dead. Suddenly, they began yank towards Jungkook. He was holding his wrist. They looked at him in shock, and then turned to Lin, who also had the same expression. But Jungkook was not going to stop. He had to end this for good and all. He started dragging them out. What are you doing? They screamed and whispered, trying to free his waist from his strong grip, looking here and there. He stopped as he entered the living room, as his eyes fell on laughing Kai, and he went toward him, full drag, dragging Taehyung. No one could save Kai from Jungkook, for now. He stopped and left the waist, and held Kai's shoulder, turning to him. Before Kai even see his elder brother, he felt a sharp pain. They gasped loudly, putting his hand on his mouth. Jungkook, Sana and Uma called him in shock. Hanyang? Kai was looking at his brother in shock and hurt in his eyes. Jungkook never raised his voice at them, let alone hand. What do you think of yourself? How could you treat someone like this? Jungkook yelled, holding his collar. He could not control his anger. The thought that he made Taehyung clean his shoes with his hand and in front of his friend burned him to the core. He didn't know why, but his anger had no bounds. He again slapped him, and this time his mother ran toward them, standing in front of Kai while Sana came forward, pushing him away from Kai. Jungkook, what are you doing? Miss John yelled. She never saw Jungkook this angry before. What am I doing? Ask him, Uma, what he has done yesterday. He yelled and turned to Tae, who was looking like going to pass out at any moment. There was nothing he was accepted, neither he wanted. He humiliated them in front of his friend. He made Tae clean his shoes. He always treated them like his personal slave. He was again going to slap him before Sana was standing in front of him.